Hello friends, how are you? My name is Corbin Reed and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I am going to be decorating my mantle and my stairwell. So I have some really beautiful cedar garland and some Norfolk pine that I'm going to kind of mix together and add in some pops of red with velvet ribbon and cranberry garland. So without further ado, let's just get on into it. So this is the living room that we are going to be decorating, my living room, and I actually recently got this antique French tapestry that I love, and I have these super high ceilings, so it just works really well to fill the wall space above the fireplace and just add some drama. So to attach the garlands to the mantle, I'm using these Command cord bundlers. So you just get the sticky backing in the Command strip and stick those cord bundlers on, and you're able to just place the garland in there and it holds it in place. I am going to be using this gorgeous 6-foot cedar garland from Hobby Lobby. These went viral. I also found a dupe for you guys that is on Temu that is still available and is half the price. This garland was $50, and the ones on Temu are about $30. So I am using 3 of these cedar garlands. They're real touch, they have beautiful movement, and I'm just sort of going to be doing like an asymmetrical look in a way. So it's longer on one side than the other. And the 3 gives me a super fluffy look on the mantle. You really could just use one of these, but I am dramatic and I love how this looks just like a lush cedar carpet. It is so luxe to me. So I've been collecting these for 3 years now. I wouldn't recommend going out and buying them all at once. You can start with one. It'll be just as full and pretty. So next up is twinkly lights. Well, these don't twinkle. I actually like my lights to be just plain, but I use warm white, and I just use standard warm white Christmas lights. So this year I am going for a traditional sort of almost vintage Christmas. I did this last year, honestly. I know it's very trendy this year to use pops of red, but this is how I like to decorate for Christmas, with red. So I am using this cranberry garland that I picked up years ago from Crate & Barrel, and then these stems, these deep dark cranberry, burgundy, and red stems, I'm layering in for some depth and some texture. Those I picked up from Michael's for I think maybe like $3 a stem. And then I have a couple extra cranberry stems, again, from just my collection that I've built up over the past few years. And I'm just layering those in, so it's not all one color or all one look. That is definitely essential to decorating a mantle. You want texture, you want shape, you want interest, and you want to layer as much as possible within like the look that you're going for. So once they were all fluffed out and sort of arranged the way that I wanted them, this is how they look. I didn't end up needing to use like zip ties or anything to hold them in place. They actually stuck in there pretty well, and I just sort of bent the stems. So these are the bells I'm going to be using. Those are from Amazon. And I've already tied one of the bows on to the corner of the garland on the mantle. But I'm just using some red velvet ribbon that I already had cut from last year, because again, this is the theme I kind of use. I like to use red at the holidays. Threaded it through those 2 bells, and then I'm just tying a bow above the bow onto my mantle. And that bow is actually a combination, the long one is actually a combination of a pre-made bow from Walmart and ribbon that I added on it to make the tails really long. And that's a theme you're going to see throughout this video. So those are the ceramic Christmas houses. That's another thing I've collected over a few years is these white ceramic Christmas houses. They're really beautiful. I mean, they're from Target, and then also some Studio McGee ceramic Christmas trees that are from last year, I believe. And I just love the variation, the subtle variation in like the finish on the ceramic houses. Some of them are just like plain white, and some of them are more of like a creamy white with like a crackle finish, and they look like pottery, like handmade pottery, but they were only like a few dollars a piece, and they do light up, but the batteries drain so fast that I probably won't use that function. They just look gorgeous on their own. These are still at Target. I'll link them down below. I also sprinkled in some bottle brush trees and some Studio McGee trees from her collection last year. Those wood ones are from last year's collection at Target. But I also love the way this tapestry sort of acts as a backdrop for the Christmas village on the mantle. It looks very like themey in a good way. So next up is my stairwell. This stairwell is pretty long, and because this is the room that I put the Christmas tree in, and that stairwell leads up to the loft and everything where we watch TV, I like to make this as magical as possible. So I am going to be using a combination of things. First off, cable ties. These I got from my local hardware store. They just make it really easy to put the garland on the stairwell. You can also use pipe cleaners. Green ones would be good to blend in. And then I'm going in with this A-floral Norfolk pine garland. I believe this is like, I want to say it's like 10 to 12 feet long. And I actually had to use this and then one more 6-foot Norfolk pine garland that's going to connect at the top of the stairs. And I'm just sort of swooping it so it like droops at every point that the stairs have like a vertical piece. I want there to be a droop in between, and that's the 6-foot garland that I'm using to finish off this look. This is just the first layer again, but these I already had. I bought these, started buying these 2 or 3 years ago. You know, they're not cheap. Kirkland's has some dupes, but I did get the A-floral ones. They just don't look great on a stairwell by themselves. So I did start collecting and adding the Cedar Garland, and these are things I will use over and over again every year. So without boring you, I just decided to show you the Cedar Garland. The same one that I used on the mantle is what I am using to layer over the Norfolk pine, and it just gives it this really wispy look, whimsical look. But you could just absolutely just use the Cedar Garland. I just love this luxe look, the full look, and the mixing, the combination of the mixing just is more interest and texture. And then same thing here, repetition is the key to making your space look designer, honestly. So I use the same warm white lights that I used on the mantle on my stair garland, and I was able to plug them in at the top of the stairs because there's an outlet on the floor, which is really lucky. And then again, repetition is the key to that designer look. So I'm using the exact same ribbon that I have on the mantelpiece. Now, if you want this look, what you do is you stand at the top of the stair where you want the ribbon to go. You drop it down to the floor. I wanted my ribbon to sort of skim the floor. And then once you get that measurement, you fold that measurement 3 times over so that you have enough for 2 tails the same length, and then also the bows. And then you get this really dramatic, long look, which I think is, again, just like super luxe and super designer looking. And if you use a ribbon, like a velvet ribbon, something that looks just warm and cozy, I think a silk ribbon can look really, really beautiful as well. Whatever ribbon you want to go with, but I think a thick ribbon for, you know, a bigger, for scale is better for something like this if you have a big stairwell like this, like I do. And so I did 3 of them down the stairs at all of the points where the swoops sort of start and stop. And then I added 1 more bow at the front of the garland where it runs down onto the floor, which is another look that I love, that I think is like super dramatic and luxe looking. And so for the front, I used this Walmart bow that I was saying I used on the mantelpiece, but didn't really show you. So this bow was like $2. They come pre-made with these ties on the back, and you just basically attach it with the ties. And then if you want those long tails and that consistency for that designer look, you just do the exact same ribbon and you run it over the top of that pre-made bow, and it looks like it's a part of the ribbon. They're very close in color. They're not exact, but they're very close. They are from two different places. One is from Walmart and one is from Hobby Lobby, but I think it turned out well. And then the other thing I do is, after I sort of tailor the height and the length, I cut a 45-degree angle inverted, so it gives it that nice point at the bottom of the ribbon, and that's just a really nice added detail that makes it look finished and polished. So the last thing I'm doing is adding bells. Again, repetition is the key to a designer look, so I'm taking similar bells. These are also, I think they're also Amazon, but I may have also gotten them from Hobby Lobby. And I'm just threaded that same ribbon through there and basically tied them to the actual stairwell banister because they're kind of heavy and I didn't want them pulling down the garland. And they just look like they're attached to the ribbon, and it's like one big sort of installment, I guess, that like I bought as is, but really I sort of layered everything together to create this look. Thank you so much for watching today. Please be sure to come back because I have a lot more to do in this living room. We're going to add pillows and blankets that are on theme, and we're going to decorate my built-ins and floating shelves, and also the kitchen is open to the living room, so I'll be decorating that as well. And of course, bedrooms and bathrooms and hallways and all that good stuff. So be sure to tune in. There's a lot more to do. And please be sure to hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Follow me over at Instagram. Everything you see in this video that I can link, I will leave linked down below in the description box. And thanks for being here. Happy decorating.